everyone, welcome back. As you can see from the logo in the middle there, this is going to be a coin related, VE Day related video. So I just thought I'd run through for some new collectors or some people with a general interest in VE Day, just to understand a little bit more about the coins. So what I'll do is I'll go through each one that would have been in your change, in your pocket, at the time of all the celebrations. Now, that's not to say that this one particular one, say the farthing from 1945, it may have been minted a week after the celebrations. It might have been minted 4 months before. I don't honestly know. But I'm going to assume all these coins that I'm going to show you were around at the time. So, very first one off the bat is the smallest denomination of all that was in circulation at the time, the farthing, which is basically a quarter of a penny. So this one, as all the others, they should show George VI. So like I say, this is just a little video, quick video, so you get to know what was in your pocket. The next one we all recognise quite often really, is the old halfpenny. Again, 1945, with George VI on the obverse. Nothing out of the ordinary on these. Quite a few of these out there in circulation. Even if you were to get a bag of mixed coins, mixed pennies, mixed halfpennies, you're pretty much guaranteed to get one like this in this condition. There were a lot out there. So, halfpenny next to quarter penny. Now, what comes after halfpenny? Well, the penny. Again, 1945, very good condition. A lot of these out there, fairly easy to get hold of. I've had a load of these over the years, and they've been everything from extremely crisp through to general use like this, which goes into my folder, through to looking like they're nothing but a flat washer, but they've been worn out. But that 1945 1 penny with Britannia. So at that point, that's all your main coinage. You then step it up a little bit. Now, near the end of the war, they had to, well, I'll say near the end, at the beginning of the war, 1937, I should say, they introduced the brass threepenny. That was to replace the silver version. Now, this one, if you notice, is dated 1941. I don't have one dated 1945 or 1944 or anything like that. So these two at the moment are the nearest I've got that would have been in circulation at the time. So you would have had this one on the left being phased in and this one being phased out. So all silver coins were basically gone by 46, 47. No more were being minted, but they were still in circulation. So you would have had, like I say, your brass threepenny and a silver threepenny. And the silver was 50% silver, not solid or 90% or even 100. It was a 50% mix. The next one on the to have list was the sixpence. Again, same scenario. I don't have a 1945 at the moment. Because of the silver content, they go for ridiculous money. And if you want to get hold of one that's easily affordable, then it'll be bashed to hell and back, to put it politely. This one, even though it's got bangs and scrapes and weird bits going on, this one still set me back a good couple of quid because it's silver and they are a lot harder to get hold of. So that's a sixpence, which in itself is half a shilling. So basically 2.5 new pence. So when you've got two of those, what you then get is a 1 shilling. Again, 50%, same as those two there. These are all 50% silver. That one is the English reverse. There was two reverses. You had an English and a Scottish. Now, I don't have a pre-end of war Scottish at the moment, but I do have a post-war 1947. The one on the right is 50% silver. The one on the left, no silver. The following year, what would have changed on these two coins is the Ind Imp bit would have been removed, or at least the India would have been removed, because by then India was independent. So you'd have had other versions. So you've got yourself two versions of a shilling. So that's your 5 new pence, as we would have looked at it as kids back in the 70s. So it's equal to 12 pence old money. So those two together, oddly enough, equal the next one up. 1945, 2 shillings. Now, 2 shillings, 2 bob, a florin. It went by many names. On the coin it said shillings. It's also known as a florin because it was a florin a fair few years earlier. So again, this one, 1945, is 50% silver. And you can sometimes tell the difference just by looking at them. The post-silver version, so 47 onwards, they've got a bit more of a shine to them, whereas the silver ones, not quite so much. I'll show you what I mean with these two. That's actually going to prove me a complete liar on this one. This one on the right is silver and it's slightly shinier. But normally you would find that the nickel chrome sort of variety would be a lot shinier. So that is 2 shillings. That is 1 shilling, or 12 pence. You got your 6pence, which was half a shilling. You've got your silver 3pence and your brass 3pence, your penny, your halfpenny, and your farthing. And the only other coinage that was around, or at least issued in that year, was the half crown. Again, 1945. That one has some nice silver content as well. There wasn't a crown issued in that year, so that rules out going up the next step. But at least with half a crown, you knew you had some money in your pocket. So half a crown is somewhat bigger than all the others. So half a crown was 2 shillings and 6pence. So those two, or that one, with that one, equaled that one. Don't you just love the old money? So blooming confusing. Now, they didn't have 50p's or pound coins or even £5 coins back in those days. But what they did have was banknotes. Now, I know this is coin related, supposed to be, but there was also these. Now, I'm going to show you which one. That one first, I think. There we go. Bank of England £1 note. Now, that one was issued between 1934 and 1948. Don't know when. There's nothing I can find, even looking at the serial number, to find when that note was actually issued. But believe me when I say I give it a good sniff. Oh, old money. Smelled amazing. Now that one is your bog standard green. Now there was a wartime version of what they call an emergency wartime issue, and that one was more of a blue colour. So as you can see, basically same design, different colour. Turn them over. Very boring on the reverse. Nothing much to write home about. But those two would have been, that's a bit of money in your pocket, a pound note. One thing I don't have, and I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get because they are so expensive, is the old white fiver. Huge things. They look like the size of a sheet of paper. But the other thing I do have is a 10 shilling. Now this one is also an emergency wartime issue, and was issued between 1940 and 1948. Now, again, there's no way to determine this particular one when it came out. All I do know is that there's a version with it's like a little metal strip, the precursor to the strip in there. That came out from 1948 onwards. This one doesn't have it. So I am looking at this one as being in someone's pocket, in their wallet, somewhere in 1945 during the celebrations. I'd like to think that all of these coins and these notes were used on the day of the celebrations. Now, that would be amazing just to think that, wouldn't it? The stories these things could tell. But literally, this is just a very quick one, just to run through the coinage of the time, some notes, just to give people an idea of what was out there. Anyway, nice and quick, short and sweet. Hopefully you enjoyed that one. If you did, please consider a like, leave a comment, maybe subscribe if you haven't subscribed before, and I'll hopefully catch you all next time. Take care, folks. Cheers all.